All right, y'all, we are live on this beautiful Monday morning. Blessings to everybody in the name of Jesus, Yeshua the Messiah. Even if you are not religious, I still pray you and your family are super blessed as Bitcoin is dipping down once again into the danger zone. Man, things are looking not the best. I'll be honest with you guys. I will be honest with you. I'm actually starting to feel scared. Terrified? Petrified? Whew! I'm freaking out a little bit, but we got to give a major shout out to everybody in the chat right now. As usual, guys, if we can get 1,500 likes in the first half an hour, we'll be giving away $1,000. Also, guys, we got to give a major shout out to BLOFIN, which is currently offering juicy 10% cash back, $1,000 future bonus chance to win all these prizes. Got to give a major shout out to WEEX, which is currently the lowest fees without KYC. Okay, now remember, if you're trading on a shady exchange that doesn't ask for your name, picture, identity, and lets you trade with 100x leverage, well, things might get a little bit hairy. But then again, if you're trading on an exchange that's featured in Forbes magazine and has a genius, young, hip, cool crypto guy heading the way, well, it might also be a rug pull, so you never know what you're going to get with these exchanges, guys. Also, if you're looking for a trading community, check out the Casper Crew VIP Discord. Click the link where we give our trade setups like this short setup that we gave this morning where we hit to the dang dollar. Man, wow, amazing, amazing. All right, what is going on, y'all? We got to talk about this. Oh my goodness, in the danger zone. Bitcoin right now, taking a bit of a dump, man. I have to be honest with you. Taking a bit of a dump. We're going to be getting into the exact TA. And guys, also, did you know that there was some fake news happening today? The pump and dump. The pump happened this morning. We got a little bit of a pump here on Bitcoin. If we zoom in a little bit, yeah, I mean, we could see, yeah, we got a little bit of a pump here. That's why I took this long trade. Because of this news that Donald Trump's considering a 90-day pause. It turns out, guys, it was just fake news. All right, just fake news. Jeez. Alright. Shout out to Chichaco DTE. Shout out to Al JR. Fees are better than BLOFIN. Yeah, they're better than BLOFIN. Shout out to 3Digit. Shout out to Joe Potter. Is rug pull season almost over? Yeah, that fake news, man. That was pretty nuts. That was pretty wild. Shout out to Pirate Justin. I'm excited. Been buying Frenzy since 2 a.m. Central. I'm rock hard right now with excitement. Okay, just read that out loud. Shout out to Ingvar. Donald Trump making everyone terrified. Oh man, that's funny. Shout out to Spaced, Jason, Mfin, Casper, Per. Shout out to Data PhD. Shout out to Mr. Mime 34. Shout out to Random Stuffs TV. Shout out to Epong TV. Shout out to Whiskey Reaper. What it do, Playboy J. Shout out to JCSGO. My faith overcomes fear. Shout out to Samuel S. Shout out to Juan PHS who says no. Shout out to Pirate Justin and DXKA who says noob entry. Do better. Thank you. Shout out to Splashbar Films. Shout out to DJ. Shout out to all the mods holding it down with the wrench, guys. The market in trust. Market's on drugs today. Shout out to Milan. I'm so accurate in taking the wrong trades. It's amazing. Well, based on your thumbnail, it looks like you're taking the right trades because honestly, yeah, honestly, it looks like your trades are looking like my thumbnail, guys. All right, my thumbnail today is looking pretty dang berry and scary and hairy. All right, shout out to Archon, God bless you. Shout out to Dylan Chaffee, God bless you. Shout out to Big Huggies 369. All right, let's pop right over to let's pop over to TradingView and see what's happening here, guys. So, as y'all know, yesterday we were talking about this green box being our last hope of support, and if we didn't hold the green box, Jason Casper was telling us all, including myself, that we were going to take this low. And most likely we were going to come down to test our green box right down here in the low 70s. Now, where are we currently getting a bounce from? We are currently getting a bounce from this area. All right, we take a look at the chart here. You can see that we had this liquidity right down here. Okay, if in fact, if we go to the daily chart, we go to the daily chart, and what we see on the daily chart is, wait a second. Oh yeah, here we go again. Sorry for going German on you like Arnold, but sometimes it happens. Right, we had this candle right here, the low of this range. That's currently actually where we're getting our bounce from, right? We basically just dipped below that liquidity, get a little bit of a bounce from here. All right, now here's the issue. Here is the issue with Bitcoin right now. We are in, I would say, a downtrend, and we are coming to what's known as the danger zone. The danger zone is this. It's the area where either A, we actually get a bounce and then a moonshot, or B, we lose it and we enter into a very bearish season. Now, I'll be honest with you. The fundamentals, the technicals right now, everything is definitely looking and pointing more bearish than bullish. All right, we've got confirmed monthly bearish divergences here on Market Cipher B. We've got a 2-month red dot that will confirm very soon. In fact, if we go to the Bitcoin all-time, not Bitstamp, yeah, we'll go to Bitstamp. I mean, this thing, I mean, I don't know. Look, I'll be honest with you. When it confirms, it's definitely bearish, okay? Doesn't rule out something like what happened over here, where when we confirm the red dot on the monthly, we get a big pullback and then a double top. But it's definitely looking like all things with these tariffs and the stock market and everything, it's really not looking the juiciest. All right, it's looking a little bit scary. It's looking a little bit scary. Now, you can see that not only have we lost our green box and we've come down, we're also currently right now back testing this green box. And not only are we back testing the green box, but we're back testing this actual support resistance flip right here at around 81,150. And that is the level that we were looking at as our first resistance this morning in the Casper Crew VIP Discord, where this was the short setup given, and this is where we come up to, bam, baby. I mean, talk about a ninja setup right there. All right, talk about a ninja setup. Okay, so that is currently happening. And let's talk about our key levels to the downside right now. Because if we do, and we could see Market Cipher B on the 4-hour time frame, let's break this down. What do we see on Market Cipher B on the 4-hour time frame? What I'm seeing right now is this, okay? Money flow is getting higher, momentum waves are getting higher, and things are very, very, very oversold. Okay, even on the daily time frame, I want to talk about the fact that we are seeing, in the moment, as price is getting lower, we are seeing the money flow getting higher, and we are, in fact, seeing what could be a bullish divergence forming. Now, why do I talk about bullish divergence in the midst of Bitcoin Armageddon? It is because when we are coming down to a support as major as this green box that we see here, we need to be looking for a bounce. Even if, guys, the bull market is over, even if Bitcoin is going to zero, it's very unlikely that we won't find some kind of support in this zone. Why is this? Well, if we take our Fibonacci from the low to the high, you can see that the golden pocket, the 618 Fibonacci, is coming right in here in the low 70s. In addition, if we take our fib from the macro low of the entire bear market last time and pull it to our current all-time high, it's the Fibonacci 382. So we have two major fib levels here. We've got ourselves a Fibonacci golden pocket, the 618 zone. We've got ourselves the 382. So even if the bull market is over, I mean, I'm looking myself for a bounce from here where we either make a lower high or a higher high, okay? So let's assume that the bull market's over, guys, and we're actually going to enter into the danger zone, and we're going to lose the danger zone eventually after a little bit of a bounce. I would still expect something like this to happen. I would expect us to get a move up to backtest major support resistance flip, right? So I would expect us actually, because I'm big on these golden pocket fibs, right? So we're coming down to the macro Fibonacci golden pocket 618, and then we can get a bounce. Everybody says we're totally back. Look at this, we're changing market structure, we're making a higher high, and then we come into the Fibonacci golden pocket here. And just like that time in high school where you asked out that hot girl and she rejected you because you were she was way out of your league. I mean, let's be honest, Jay, you're such a nerd, such a loser, such a neckbeard, fat, obese, low self-esteem, long hair, guitar playing loser. There's no way that girl was going to go out with you, Jason. So, you know, I don't mean to project my own life onto you guys, but look, the rejection, it hurts. It hurts. But we have to come sometimes to the realization that I guess the top was in. And now this is a lower high, and now we're going to continue down, right? This is option number one. But option number two is, like, if we come into this zone, we might actually make that double top. Like, we might actually come in and make a higher high and actually end the cycle bullishly, right? So those are like the two things I'm kind of looking for as we come down to this zone here, because this zone to me is just so important. All right, we've been talking about this zone literally since Trump won the election, because when you have half a year of resistance, you have to look at that as support. Okay, and we can also look at this in another way. All right, understand that for the entirety of this uptrend, we have ranged and then broken out. So you range down here and then you get the breakout, and then you ranged right here and then you got the breakout, and then you ranged here for about half a year and then the breakout, right? And every time we range and we break out, we never ever come back into the previous range, right? In fact, sometimes we tap it to the dang dollar. Right over here, if you guys remember, August 5th, 2024, we tapped that previous range high that we had right here to the dang dollar. Okay, that was one of the most famous long trades I've ever taken in my life, because I longed it, told everybody I was longing live in the New York Open live stream to long Bitcoin from the exact low, and of course we rode that trade up, right? So if we are going to now hold this area, then the uptrend is still intact, and the pattern of forming these sideways ranges and then breaking out is still in play, because sometimes, as you see here, you will get some pretty bearish looking action, right? We had our sideways range going on back here, and technically speaking, I mean, this looked pretty dang bearish, especially if we pull it like this. You know, man, did that look not so great. But then we got a big move to the upside. Even over here, you can see that we had our sideways range and it looked pretty bearish. And then boom, we get the big move to the upside, right? Even over here, you could say that this range, you could consider this support lost big time, looking bearish. I mean, then we get that big push to the upside. So we've had fake outs before. I think the most famous one is back here in January 2024. We had this range, we lost it, things were looking pretty bearish. It looked like we wanted to take all this liquidity, right, and come back and backtest like $30,000. It's really what it looked like, but we didn't do it. We got the fake out. So if we can still hold our $70,000 zone right around this area, okay, this top green line here, then I'd say that we're still intact. We're still in the bullish market trend. We're bouncing from key fib support, and we can see another high. But if we don't do that, right, let's say we don't get any kind of bounce here, or we just get like a really dead cat bounce, then I'd say, man, we are in for some bearishness. We are in for some bearishness, and then I'd be looking down to the 50s, and I know people hate when I say that, but look, people hated when I said we're going to come to the low 70s. Here we are, guys, $74,000 Bitcoin this morning. All right. All right. Yeah, I'd be looking down toward the macro golden pocket, okay, for the next major support. So this is a very, very important time right now for Bitcoin. All right. Let's pop on over here and take a look. So I am in, you know, a few positions here. Got to give a major shout. We got 1,200 people in the chat. We got 1,200 people in the chat. Only 375 likes. All right, only 375 likes. Guys, make sure to smash up the dang like button. All right. Also, make sure, if you like money, to sign up on BLOFIN, because BLOFIN is courteously doing $100 giveaways on a regular basis to my subscribers who have signed up under my links, right? So you don't even have to trade, you don't even have to deposit, you just have to sign up using my link on BLOFIN for a chance to win $100. Multiple chances, it's going to be a regular thing. Also, if you do deposit on BLOFIN, they'll give you 10% cash back, so it's a great deal. Also, guys, I'm trading on WEEX, which does have the lowest fees. Just going to throw it out there. I've had no issues with WEEX. I know some people have had issues with the exchange, so take that for what it is. But they do have the lowest fees. All right. Currently, Bitcoin is getting a move. This wick right here, 80,900, give or take, 81,000 from the short setup we gave this morning in the Casper Crew New York Open VIP live stream. Also, technically, I did take this long live in the Casper Crew New York Open live stream. Although it was a little bit, of a strange trade. Let's just put it that way. All right. So we are long, and the reason why I took a long this morning is because of what happened here. I didn't know anything about the news, but the reason why I took a long on Bitcoin is because we came down to basically this low here. And I actually had thought in the moment that we took that low, but I was looking at this as a potential place to get into a long trade because we had ourselves the Fibonacci golden pocket and that previous low. So for the scalp long idea this morning, I was looking for this, and in the moment, I actually thought we had taken the low, so I took a long trade here. But when I saw this bounce, I took the long trade, and then when I looked at it close, I'm like, dang, we didn't take the low. So I thought I was going to get wrecked on that trade, but it turns out, I guess, shout out to the fake news, because thanks to the fake news on Twitter, we ended up getting a little bit of a bounce. So sometimes, you know, the fake news can do your heart good, right? Good old Donald Trump, man. Good old Donald Trump and good old fake news. Good old morning brew coffee. Yeah, shout out to the Casper Crew. Shout out to the Casper Crew. Who else we got in the chat here? Shout out to Spaced. I've heard about WEEX having multiple wicks that were bugs that stop people out. Yes, that's true, but also WEEX is refunding people who get wrecked on those wicks, so at least they're on the up and up about it, you know? ¿Dónde está el señor Punto Verde? Hoy lo necesitimos. Yo no hablo español. Lo siento. Shout out to the Whiskey Reaper. Shout outs to Nancy Pelosi that called the fake news pump. Really interesting. Interesting. Shout out to Joe Potter who's drinking coffee. Shout out to Soul Trades. How's ETH going, Mr. Casper? The Face News Media. We could check out some other assets as well. Okay, so Tio says WEEX froze the account for no reason. Stay away. Like I said, I've had no issues with WEEX, and you know, it is what it is. I'm trading on the exchange. All right, you guys, you know, heed the warnings. Heed the warnings from other people. But for right now, I'm still on WEEX. All right, I'm still on WEEX. Shout out to Stefan. Shout out to Splashfire Films. Shout out to J Armo. Shout out to Chichaco DTE. Shout out to CJ. The VIX just hit 52. That's crazy. Shout out to Erica. Shout out to Roboballs 42. Sniper is so thankful that shorts exist. Seriously, I myself am thankful that shorts exist. Yeah, what a great little hack in life, right? Okay, so I'm in a little bit of a long trade. Let's see if this can turn into anything, because here's the deal also that we have to understand. If we come and take a look at what has happened here, you know, we do have some interesting levels to the upside. Okay, first of all, if we take a look at the CME futures chart, we have a gap that will tap into the gap at 81,890. So you can see that the Friday candle, The low of that Friday candle was 81,890, and then we have an actual gap of the candle close that will fill at 84,350. Okay, so we do have that level to the upside. In addition to this, if we come back to our normal chart and we put on our TPO indicator, let's go ahead and put on a good old TPO. TPO, what do you know? Got the TPO. Like my name is Mr. Joe Biden. Shout out to Joe Biden, man. This dude, you know, he's blaming this whole dump on Trump, by the way.
Now, let me be clear. I've been dead since 2019, and every time you've seen me on TV, it's either been a deep fake or a body double. But the science is settled. This is all Trump's fault.
So he's blaming it on Trump. You know, that ain't no surprise. Dude's been dead since 2019, right? Every time we see him on TV, he's been a deep fake or a body double, which is why he always looks like he's asleep. He's just a dummy sitting there. Now, we have these single prints coming up to around the $82,000 level as well. So yesterday, this big drop, we could see a retracement. We could see a move up between, I'd say, 82,000 and that CME gap around 84.3. We could actually see a significant move to the upside. And if we take a look at the order flow as well, which I think is important, we can see that, wow, would you look at all the shorts that have shorted basically below 82K, right? From all day yesterday, we saw hundreds of millions of shorts opening up on Binance. We've seen tens and tens of millions of shorts open up on ByBit. Look at this move to the downside and look at the increase of open interest and look at all the shorts that have opened up here, and the majority of them, guys, are still open. And not only are they still open, but you know, longs are completely wrecked. So what we have here are a lot of shorts still open, quite a few shorts actually currently under the water right now. This could give us a recipe for a large short squeeze coming up to at least, I'd say, $82,000 to $84,000, where we have the single prints and that CME gap. So it is a Monday after a weekend. We have a CME gap to the upside. We have ourselves lots of single prints and lots of shorts that could be squeezed right now. So be on the lookout for a big push to the upside coming up to, I would say, between 82,000, which is going to be right here, the support resistance flip. The majority of the shorts opened under that level. And we might even come to fill the gap, which is going to be right around this area here. So if we take our fib from the high to the low, you can see we've even got the Fibonacci golden pocket coming right in the middle of there. So if you guys see a big pumperoonie today, you know, this is going to be an extremely key level. An extremely key level. Now let's talk about local signs of strength, because is there a chance that the low is in here? I mean, we do have bullish divs on our 4 hour. In fact, if we go to the 4 hour and we take a look here, I would say this, like, we've got ourselves a confirmed, it'll confirm in 23 minutes, a very oversold green dot, big BitBoy green dot on the 4 hour time frame. In addition to over like I'd say since February, the bullish div is present. And also since February, the money flow is getting higher, right? So is the bottom in? Well, for me, the first sign of strength, at least for a push to higher prices, let's say $90,000, would have to be reclaiming our major resistance right here between 82 and 84. We come up here, we hold this level. That to me is bullish. That would be, if we take this, you could see it's also the high volume node right there. That is going to be, in my opinion, our first sign of strength for me to say, you know what, there's a chance that the bottom is actually in and I'm no longer looking for lower. But if we get that move, we get the back test, then I'd have to say I would be then looking for $96,000 high volume node right around here. Okay, confluence with our Fibonacci golden pocket retracement. Okay, so if the bottom is in, what we need to see is we need to see a break above $82,000 to $84,000, a back test of that level, meaning we come back to tap it again, hold it as support, And then I'd say we could get our move up to 97,000. And then I'd say when we're at 97,000, if we don't see the rejection, and we see an actual reclaim of this and a back test of this, then we could look for a new high, right? We could, but until we see that first major local sign of strength here, there's no reason to be thinking we're coming up to 97. And until we see a reclaim of 97 holding as support, there's no reason to think we're going to make a new all-time high right now. I'd say right now, all things considered, the highest probability is that we actually make another low. We take that low, uno más tiempo, which means one more weather, I think. Right? Is that weather how you say it? Tiempo, is that weather? Hace mucho calor. ¿Qué tiempo hace? Hace mucho frío. Hey man, was that wick just a short squeeze? That wick to the upside was a bit of a squeeze. We take a look at the wick. Let's take a look at the wick. We will take a look at the wick. Yeah, let's pop on over to EXO. So, look at this. Yes, shorts wrecked. But then we see something interesting, which is shorts opening right here as well. So, this kind of a battle going on right now, to be honest with you. It's a battle going on, but yes, that wick to the upside was a short squeeze. But the wick came right to our level, man. Right to our dang level. All right. And that, even though it was front run a little bit, that long was a technical level as well. In fact, yeah, that long was a bit of a technical level because we came down to the area where you would look for a scalp long after an initial bounce. So if you're looking for a bounce, right? Let's say you're looking for a bounce, baby, and you think that the low could be in, right? Like, for example, this morning when I looked at the chart, I said, you know, could the low be in? Yeah. And if the low is in, then I would be looking for my bounce from around this area. All right. The reason is because what you're going to do is you're going to pull your Fibonacci from that low to the first high. And also you're going to look for where are some local stop losses, because you got to think to yourself, if you were long, let's say you see this bounce and you're like long and you want to have a tight stop, where would you put your stop? You would put it under here, right? So you look for where the stop hunt would be to take that low, all right? And so when you're on the 1 minute chart, you know, I didn't know anything about this news when I took the long trade, but when you see something like this, where you're coming to a level like that, and look at this 1 minute candle, bullish engulfing candle on the 1 minute here, all right? To me, that is a clear sign that you've got yourself a scalp on your hands, because what this does is, number one, it's a key level. Number two, you're seeing the price action do something different than what it's been doing this whole time, right? We had these tiny little candles, then all of a sudden, boom, we have a big bullish engulfing candle, and it gives you a very clearly defined stop loss, right? You know that if the price is going to be lower than your level, right, that you need to get out the dang trade, and then you can shoot for your support resistance flips, right? So that's how that's how I look for scalps if I think that the bottom is already in. And honestly, right now, if the bottom is in, then we could do the same. If we get a little bit deeper of a retrace here, you know, we could be looking at this as our local range. Boom, boom, bam. And would you look at that? We would be coming down to the local value area low and the Fibonacci golden pocket. And, you know, we do have a spike of volume right here as well from this little zone. You know, that's what I would be looking at next. All right, I'd be looking at that next. Let's see how the order flow is doing right now in the momentum, which means the momenta, which means the moment. Yeah, let's take a look. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Man, everything's so laggy lately. Exo's lagging, TradingView's lagging. Everything's lagging. Man, let's refresh. Let's hit refresh a couple 100,000 times here. All right, here we go. Okay. So essentially, shorts are getting closed out and longs are kind of opening. Nothing really too crazy is happening right in this moment. All right. But we are coming to, again, if we're going to make another high here, remember, we have our key resistance between 82 and 84,000. So the two major places to be looking for Bitcoin right now are going to be 82 to 84, very key, high volume node, golden pocket, CME gap, single prints. Okay, let's remove everything here. We're just going to put our boxes on the chart. Between 82 and 84,000, it's going to be very key. Alright, it's going to be super key. And then below us right now, major support is going to be, I'd say, right around 74-ish down to, let's you know, we'll give it a little bit of a zone here. That's going to be our major support here from our previous range. These are the two key zones that if I was like primarily just a swing trader, that I would be looking at right now. I'd be looking for move up like this into this level for a potential rejection or a potential back test and more upside. And then I'd be looking down here for a potential long from that box, okay? So the trades I'm really looking for would be this. And technically I'd be looking to take that up quite a ways, potentially to a new high, potentially. And I'd be looking for a short from this box here, right? So this box right here is where I'm potentially looking for a short back down into this area. And then, of course, the opportunity for a long would come in as well here if I see that we are getting a pump above and then a back test, right? Pump above and then a back test. These would be like the three swing trades I'd be looking for right now in the moment. This is not necessarily a swing trade, but it's still like a nice 15% move. These, obviously, these targets are pretty intense targets. We'd have to be booking partial profits depending on how our setup is going there. But that's pretty much what I'd be looking for now. Now, you could see the long trade from this morning is currently in $1,491 a profit. Shout out to Dave Digital. Shout out to Ali Raza. Shout out to Z Dragon. Lots of volume today, lagging and everything. Shout out to All Day Trades. He says long and strong, baby. Shout out to Alex O. Shout out to R Pink. Shout out to Roboball. Shout out to Prom. He says, Jason, look at the SMA on the weekly. All right, let's take a look at that SMA on the weekly. Let's take a look at the SMA on the weekly. We got to get to our weekly. Let's get to our SMA. I like it green. What SMA though? What length on the weekly? Wait a second. What SMA? What length are we doing? Just the 1 week? Just the weekly? Let's put it on the weekly. Our 1 week moving average, our 9 week moving average. This is the 1 week moving average. Is this what you're talking about? Are we talking about the 100? What are we talking about? What moving average are we talking about? We need a time frame here. What are my thoughts on market Cipher B right now? My thoughts on market Cipher B are, look, we are starting to get bottomy signals, okay? But I would actually prefer a little bit more downside, and then I think we get a pump, which will either result in a lower high or potentially a higher high. But I have to say, money flow is getting higher. Momentum's getting higher here, and the 4 hour as well. So things are looking like potential for a big bottom, you know. Bitcoin to the firmament, says Darshan Baba. That would be cool. All right. Shout out to Vadim. Brop stopped using exo charts because of the issues. I know that the desktop version has fewer issues. You know, I know that the desktop version has fewer issues. Can I show all the longs I attempted on this dump? Yeah, I can show them. Should I show them? So, here's the deal. This is actually you guys saw me attempt one on Friday. You guys saw me attempt one on Friday, but these are the last few trades I've taken here. All right. So this one here, I got wrecked because I forgot to set a stop loss. And it happens, man. I took a long trade. It was in the green. I went to go do something with the kids. I look at the chart. Boom. Got wrecked. All right. Then this one here was from Friday. This is after I had already made $10,000 shorting on a different account. Then, of course, we've got juicy $9,000 win, a small loss, and a small win. So overall, even with this massive loss here, still in the green, baby. All right, still in the green. But I haven't taken very many trades lately. I haven't really been at the charts very much lately. I've had a lot of issues going on, like just personal issues, guys. Crazy stuff happening in my personal life. All right. So yeah, there is no stop loss, man, and that really messed me up, to be honest. That really messed me up. That big loss. Didn't like it. Didn't like it. Do I buy stocks at all? Yeah, Bullish on Parade. I do buy stocks, man. I do buy stocks because I don't trade them, but I buy them and I hold them, and I like to hold the stocks that are the dividend-paying stocks. All right. The dividend-paying stocks is what I like to accumulate, make a little portfolio, so that when I get old and lose all my hair, then I'll be getting some passive income. All right? I'll be getting some passive income. Let's see. Thank you guys for the prayers. I appreciate it, honestly. Honestly, man, it's been a crazy time. It's been a crazy time. Did Trump give me some tariffs? Yeah, that's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened. All right, guys, make sure to like the stream. We got about 1,400 people in here. We only got about 600 likes. Can we get the likes up to the watchers? Can we get the likes up to the watchers? That would be great. That would be great. We got 1,500 people in the house, baby. Can we get the likes up to the watchers? And let's take a look at Ethereum right here. Man, oh my goodness. This is nuts. So ETH has come down to our target here. Before we talk about ETH, let's answer this question here. Why do so many people say that that Bitcoin needs to hit 70,000 before up? The reason why is because The reason why Bitcoin needs to hit 70 before up is because that's the major support resistance flip, right? That's the pre-Trump breakout level. So ETH has just come down to none other than our key support at $1,500. This is crazy. All right, let's take a look at ETH here. This is my first time looking at ETH today. This is nuts. All right, so we come down to the level. This is a make it or break it zone, and I'll be honest, market Cipher B is looking pretty dang ambiguous right now. Let's go to the 4 hour. Oh man, the 4 hour doesn't even look that great. Okay, this is honestly looking pretty horrible. This is looking horrible. If we can't reclaim $1,500 for ETH, I'd say $1,006, the high volume of the bear market, we are back down in bear market territory, guys, without even hitting an all-time high. This is insane for ETH. So we do have the bear market value area low down here at around 1,380. So yeah, we need to reclaim this POC. But other than that, man, I have to say, this looks absolutely horrible. This looks absolutely horrible. The only other option I see for ETH, if we're not going to reclaim that POC, is like where would I look to literally sell the farm to get into ETH would be. I know this is going to sound crazy, you guys, but like to come down to take a liquidity grab of like this low or something, honestly, or even this low, right? I mean, if I see that ETH is coming down to this area, I would actually buy some serious spot ETH here, right? I'm serious. I would buy some serious spot Ethereum if we dip down into this level. And could it happen? Look, it could happen. But this is like the support of all supports. This is like, can you imagine that? An $800 ETH? This is so crazy, man. This gives me a flashback to when ETH was like $250 back in the summer of 2020. Right around that time. Actually, it must have been the fall of 2020 because my wife was pregnant with my son. So yeah, it must have been fall 2020. And my wife had an appointment to get like checked for the baby, and I was listening to Ivan on Tech, and he was talking about how ETH is going to hit $800 soon. At the time, it seemed so impossible that a $300 ETH was going to be at 800, but it happened, of course, and now 800 is such key support. Man, we if that happens, man, I'm buying ETH. I'm buying some dang ETH, man. That would be wild. That would be wild. Vitalik's going to change his gender. Man, I had a headache the other day. I popped a few Vitalik Buterin. I took 3 Vitalik Buterins with 8 ounces of water, and my headache went right away. All right? It was a very smart contract I made by taking those pills. All right? $200 ETH. You bought that. That's what's up. What if ETH goes down to 500? Well, I'll be holding the bag, honestly, because I would probably buy. I would probably buy at 800. Why buy? Just 3x long it? I mean, I guess you're kind of right, Bullish on Parade. Let's see, like, I don't know. I don't like to low leverage long stuff. I like to buy stuff on spot. But let's say we come down to 800. Yeah, I mean, I guess a 3x long is pretty safe, right? What do we? No, it's not really safe. Like, that's not too safe. Maybe a 2x. Maybe a 2x. Maybe a 1.5x would be better. I'd rather just buy it on spot, man. I'd rather just buy it on spot, to be honest with you. I'd rather just buy it on spot. Shout out to Tom Crown, my man. What's going on, bro? God bless you, man. God bless you, Tom Crown. God bless you, Tom Crown. Yeah, this is crazy. ETH is pretty nuts. Let's check out Sol. Oh my goodness, man. Sol. We have taken the liquidity at 109. We have not gotten a candle close above the level today's daily candle is very important for Sol. If we can close it above 109, that's somewhat strong. If we can't, man, I'll be honest, we don't have any major support on Sol until, like, let's just say 75. The only good news I see here is some slight bullish divergence, but man, we need to see some actual bullish pumpage follow through here. Otherwise, it's really not looking the best for our good friend Solana. It's really not. Man, this is a little bit surreal. I'll be honest with you guys. It's a tad bit surreal here with all the stuff that's going on. All right. Let's check back on our good friend Bitcoin. We are consolidating. Let's see what happens. Let's see if we go for our lows here and dip into our box of juicy goodness, or let's see if we go for our highs and dip into our box of juicy goodness to the upside. All right. Have I ever thought about being a chicken farmer comedian? Yeah, I've thought about it all the time, all right? Shout out to Divine Hood. Shout out to Scottish Crypto. Shout out to y'all. You guys are the best. God bless you all. God bless everybody. All right, we got a super chat in the house. Shout out to FOMOG. Hi, Jason. Past bear markets, was there a clear-cut signal that determined it was a bear market? No, just like change of market structure on these higher term time frames, right? That's pretty much just about it. Change of structure on these higher term time frames. But other than that, nope. Just like there's no sign that it's a bull market except change of market structure on the higher term time frames. So, yeah. 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 Yeah, that is about it. Alright. Alright, guys, I have to head out. God bless everybody in Jesus' name, even if you're not religious. I love each and every one of you. May the Lord bless each and every one of you. Thank you for liking, subscribing, clicking the bell, and I'll see everybody next time. Peace.